Alright guys, I'm going to try and cover a lot of stuff really quick. Stick around, I think you'll really like what I got going on here. So, first we're going to start out. Good old Dynam A-10 from Nitroplanes. This was my first one, and it has been crashed I don't know how many times. 2 times I know were Spectrum receiver failures, and another time was a stock Dynam servo that came with it that failed in the wing, caused a crash as well. This thing has been destroyed, literally broken in half. So it was an excellent plane. It's a tank killer, but this plane itself is a tank. It can take some abuse, so I had to go with a new one. So I got my new kit. Now this is an airframe only kit, no electronics whatsoever, and that's what I wanted. So the kit came, cover that real quick. I'm not going to take it out of the box completely for you guys, I'll just show you the kit. Really good shape, actually perfect shape, absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm really happy. This is out of the new batch. They finally got them back in stock. What I really like is they did away with the extremely shiny, almost sticker-like paint that was on it. It now has a more flat style paint on it. The type of paint doesn't feel like it wants to peel or wrinkle at all. Awesome paint on this new A-10 from Dynam. So really happy. Quality, everything is perfect from Nitroplane. Shipping was great. And I didn't used to be a fan of Nitroplanes, but they've done me good on my last couple orders. So everything's great there. So let's get started. This is going to be a deluxe A-10 by the time we're done. So let's get started on this. Here we go. We'll start with the fan system. Okay guys, this is the fan that comes with the R4, the ready to fly version of the A-10. Now it's a good fan, a lot of power, does what it needs to do. Not a lot of power, but hey, it's good enough for the A-10, but not good enough for everything that we're going to do to this A-10. Okay, so what I'm going to do on that is I'm going to switch that fan over, which is a 64 millimeter, and I'm going to go with a 70 millimeter, one of my favorite fans, the Wings Makers fan. This is going to be running off of a 4S system. So no more 3S. We're going to be running dual 70 millimeter Wings Makers 4S fans. I'm also going to be running these with a small booster ring here. Adds about anywhere from 2 to 5% additional thrust and power, or thrust and speed. A little bit, doesn't sound like much, but it does a lot. So I'm going to be running that with a 4S motor in it, the 4S Wings Maker Turbo Outrunner. Now, original speed controls that came with it here, guys. Just Dynam 40 amp dual speed controls, you know, in line for a twin setup. Won't be needing anything like that at all. What I'm going to end up running in this is a twin, same way. Now, this is a single, other one's put up right now. I'm going to be running twin Dynam 60 amp speed controls in this one. Good speed control. However, I will be disabling the BEC, removing the center wire, taping it off, and we'll cover the BEC here in a second. So that's going to be the setup, guys. 4S fan, 4S system. We're going to twin fans with the ring, and twin Dynam 60 amp speed controls. All right. So now let's cover the servos. Takes about 5 servos all the way around for just the basic plane. I'm going to be running the T-Pro MG90s Metal Gear Digital Servo. I'm going to run these throughout the whole plane, one in each wing, one for the elevator, and one for the front steering as well. So I'll have, you know, a little number of those in there. So that's the servo I'm going to be running in it. Now we'll get over to some of the fun stuff, some of the little accessory stuff. I do have a video a little bit farther down the list, guys, if you want to check it out, on my old A-10 where I just test fitted a Lumafly FAA flight system on it, lighting system. This has a green, a red, and a white strobe, FAA certified style lighting system. I will be running this system on the new A-10. I will also be running a Turnigy single strobe, very, very bright strobe light. So I will have my 2 strobes on the plane, one not so bright, one a little bit brighter. The strobes are going to be controlled with an electronic RC switch. This is a manual switch that plugs into your receiver. Okay, and basically you plug this into a channel of your receiver with a switch, say like the gear, you know, since I will not be running retracts, there is a reason. I'll cover that. But plug this into that, so when I flip that switch, I'll be able to turn on and off my entire lighting system with just a flick of a switch. So when I want it on, it'll be on. When I don't, it doesn't have to be. So we got a strobe, a full lighting system, and a control for that. Okay, now let's get a little bit more into the power setup and the safety to run a lot of what we're running here. Like I said, 4S, twin 4S, twin very large speed controls. Okay, so obviously we're gonna go with the BEC. Now the BEC I'm going with here is a UBEC by Turnigy, and it is up to a 15 amp. That is very important with a lot of the accessories I'm going to be running on this. So this is a 15 amp. Does come with a switch. I will be removing this switch and hardwiring it so it is always on the on position. Switches are just one more thing that can go bad in a plane, guys. So I'll be running this. This has a option of going with 5 volt or 6 volt. 5 volt for the 4.8 servo, 6 volt for the digital style servo. So I will be running mine on 6 volt. However, one servo that I will be using as a hatch mod on my old A-10 here, I'll just show you. I will be running a servo where there will not be a hatch lock in here. It will go down. It'll be a servo laying towards the bottom here, servo arm with a brass rod on it, which will, at a flick of a switch and a servo slowdown wired in with that, will raise my hatch slowly and put it back down slowly. So that's going to be the other servo, which is the reason that I have right here, since I am running 6 volts to the rest of my Metal Gear servos. For that one servo, I'm going to need a step down. This is a step down wire. This will step it down to 5.1 volts. Just perfect for a 4.8 volt servo. Handles it just perfectly. So I'll be running the, like I said, the Turnigy UBEC 15 amp, 8 amp, 15, or max 15 amps. Input is 6 volt to 12.6 volt. And it runs off of a 2 to 3 cell LiPo. Low RF noise, but tell you the truth, guys, this has quite a bit of RF noise. So I'll keep this as far away from my receivers and any other wires as possible. The same with the strobe. The strobe puts off a lot of RF interference, so I'll keep that clear of all electricals as well. So that'll be the lighting system there, and that'll be my UBEC and my power system, because I will not rely on my LiPo or on the built-in BEC on the speed controllers to power the plane, especially on 4S with everything we're doing here. Alright, so we got that covered. Now let's go into receivers. Well, let's see, we got Spectrums here. If I can get the box open. We got a few Spectrums in here. I've got about 15 of them right now that aren't in planes. And you know which one we're going to go with? None of them. None of them at all. Spectrum receivers are crap. I'm done with them. Believe it or not, I used to laugh at these when I saw them online. Now this is all I fly in every one of my planes. Here's a box full of orange, Hobby King orange receivers. 6-channel and 9-channel receivers. Every single one I've got the satellites for. I've put these in my planes, have not had a single problem once with them. I've lost 4 or 5 planes with Spectrum receivers this year. Many of them recorded with cameras on the receiver, proving that is what caused the plane to go down, and it wasn't due to low voltage. So I will be running the Hobby King orange receiver. Probably the 6, may go with a 9-channel, depending on how many extra hookups I need to just run live, not that are controllable. So yeah, like I said, orange receiver from Hobby King, and a satellite on each one. And if I run the 9, those come with the dual satellite ports, so I will run those. Okay, so that covers the receiver there, guys. No more Spectrum for me. I will never buy a Spectrum receiver ever again. They're junk. And if you have a different opinion, leave it. That's fine. Don't really care. So, as far as my extensions, obviously these servo wires are not going to be long enough to go to a lot of places they need. So I will be running the servo extensions with the twisted wire. Twisted wire cuts down on interference and as well as RF noise from a servo wire. So always go with the twisted if you're going to be running a long servo wire. Alright, so we'll cover that over there. Now, a low point on this A-10, the only kind of bad thing about it, landing gear are horrible on it. So what I found here, awesome set of landing gear here, guys. Now these are all brushed aluminum, good solid hard wheel. This is not a good spongy wheel. This is a good solid wheel. Now these are shock absorbing landing gear, okay? and they are adjustable. They are also made to go out and be mounted at an angle. They don't mount straight up and down. They mount out at just the perfect small angle. So I'll be running this setup here. This is an awesome little wheel setup. The front wheel, front landing gear is also shot all the way across, and a dual wheel for jets. And this will be embedded up inside the battery bay. As you can see, it has a control horn here, which I will be running my rudder servo to, which will allow me to have my steering control. Now, the only downside on these that could make them weak is the mounting plate plastic. Well, that will be gone. I will not be using a plastic mounting plate. I will be using sheet aluminum. I will cut out new plates, mock the holes, and drill those out, and take those plastic plates off and replace them with aluminum plates and mount those. Alright, so we got the servos covered. We got the speed controls, the 4S fan going in instead of the old little 3S stock fan from Dynam there. Full lighting system, FAA, strobe, and a switch to control on-off lighting system. Receiver, going with the orange receivers, going with the satellites on them. I love them. I've got my reasons. I've done my testing, and I'm more than happy with them. Servos, we've got those pretty much covered. Like I said, MG90s. Now, I will have the step down because on, let's see, on the hatch, I will most likely go with probably a, let's see, what do we got here? I think this is a, yeah, we got a Hextronics HXT 900. Very, very popular servo. That's one of the servos I'll be running for the hatch, the up and down on the hatch. So that'll give me a nice little servo for the hatch, and then I'll just put a slow down on that to drop it and pull to take it up and down at a nice slow rate and give it a little bit more scale. I have no desire to go with retracts on this, simply because these fans here on a 4S setup put out easily 800 grams of thrust, easy. So twin 4S 70 millimeter Wings Makers ducted fan systems, I'll be pushing almost 2,000 grams of thrust on a plane that weighs just barely 1,000 grams. So I will have not only unlimited vertical, but acceleration in vertical. Little side note, I will be throwing on, now this is just a, now I was going to skip my head here. This is a ferret capacitor basically. This plugs into your receiver or any open port in your receiver or any Y cable anywhere. You can connect this anywhere in line with your system, and it keeps your voltage regulated at whatever you have it set at. If for some reason your receiver starts to get low voltage, this will dump all of its stored energy in it to keep that receiver at the voltage it needs to be. So a really good cheap product that is a good little peace of mind to have. Alright, so I think we got it all covered there, guys. That's gonna be, there's a lot more to it that I'm not covering. Obviously the airframe is gonna be just extremely reinforced. There's gonna be a lot of hidden carbon fiber in this, from front to back. Obviously on the bottom of the elevator I will have carbon fiber, and on the wings I'm going to be running a solid rod at the leading edge all the way across, and at the bottom back edge all the way across. Solid carbon square rod, not round. Square is much more rigid and much stronger. Then I'll also be running a carbon fiber strip mounted obviously this direction, because you're going to put them like that. They don't have any strength to them. You got to mount them and embed them in the wing. So I'll be running that just to give that wing less flex. And like I said, in the elevator, now this one already has the elevator carbon fiber rod. I'll show you real quick. I did that. It was one of the first things I did. And there it is right there, just embedded nice and neat into the bottom of the elevator. Can't even tell it's there. And of course on every control rod I put carbon fiber tubing over it. I went ahead and went square on it as well, and just to get zero flex on that. So I've got a build video on this first Dynam, guys, and like I said, that first one I had has just been through hell and back and has stood up to it all, and just an awesome airframe. So what I wanted to do is show you guys that you can get a $40 foamy kit off of the internet. Good little kit. and just really make it just awesome. It'll have beautiful gear on it once those are painted up the way I want to do them, except obviously for the brushed aluminum. More than enough power off the 4S system. Excellent speed control to run the 4S system on. Excellent Metal Gear Digital servos. And a must, even if I was just running 4S and nothing else, but with a lighting system, a switchable system, you have to have a solid large BEC or UBEC. So this is a BEC, also a voltage regulator. So that is also a must, okay? And yeah, orange receivers, if you want to know why I'm choosing these over Spectrum, please feel free and ask, and I will give you a very detailed answer. I have done many tests. I didn't put my tests online simply because a lot of people have done them. I did my own that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with, but it works for me, okay? Spectrum receivers, okay, if they shut off or lose signal, it takes some time for those things to reconnect. Anywhere from 3 seconds to 6 seconds, even up to 12 seconds. Okay, with the Hobby Kings, okay, when these things lose, they reconnect instantly. Okay, you can shut your transmitter off in air, turn your transmitter back on, and you instantly have signal. You do that with the Spectrum, you might be taking home a pile of a plane. So that's just one of the reasons. Brownouts are going to happen, so if it happens, I'd much rather have basically the same receiver, but correct programming. When they program these with the computer programming, they did it correctly. Spectrum did it to get it out fast and make money. Okay, so you can spend $120 on a receiver, or you can spend $6 on one that's better, and that's my opinion. So that's the setup, guys. Now the last thing I'm going to cover here is armaments. What's an A-10 with this whole setup, the whole lights, the whole landing gear, everything without the full armaments. Now armaments are hard to find. It took me a while to get these, but I finally got them all down. Most of these were off of kits online that you go into the spare parts section and order the missile kits off of them. Got a couple drop tanks there. Got some drop tanks with missiles there, and got some side missiles, as well as some drop bombs here, which are ready to go together and get painted. Alright, there's a set of 2 of those there. So those will be awesome there. And then I got the exact same set right over here in gray with the black tip. They also come with the gray belly mounted or wing mounted missiles, as well as, I'm gonna have to get a light on for you here, as well as the fins right here. You have a back fin and a middle fin. Back fin will go right in there, middle fin goes right there, gives it a wicked look, looks really good. And then I've got an extra set of side missiles for closer towards the wingtip. So this matches really good with what the true A-10 runs, if you look at pictures of real A-10s. So I've got a full wing load of munitions for the wings on the A-10. So, awesome kit, came perfect. Love the new, however they changed the chemical process in the paint. Looks great, feels great, and yeah, we are going to be loading this thing up. And like I said, with those 4S twin wings maker motors, we are going to be flying. This thing will have a ton of power, a ton of speed. So obviously reinforcements are a must. So once I get that going, I'm definitely going to be updating you guys on this. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, anything you want to throw at me, let me know. As you can tell, I'm obviously open to ideas. I'm going to make this thing a nice showpiece and a great flyer, just to show you that you can take these little cheapo kits and make them awesome kits instead of spending $600 for a kit that already comes with the little LEDs in it and a little servo that makes this do this and that do that. You can do it yourself, and it's done well because you did it yourself. So hit me up, guys, if you have any questions. Go ahead and leave me a comment, leave me a personal message, email me, whatever you guys need to do. I'll definitely respond to you guys. I get a lot of them every day, but I try and get back to everybody. So get started on this kit, and I'm going to do a complete build video on this section, so it'll be quite a few videos, but I'll get them all on there and covered. And hope you guys enjoyed. I left out a lot of stuff, but I didn't want to leave you sitting here bored. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one off, and if I forgot something, I'll go ahead and add it in the description or add it into the video on an annotation or something like that. So thanks for watching, guys. This is gonna be an awesome A-10 when it's done. So stick around and check it out. Thanks.